All right. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, welcome to this 31st meeting of Quantum Leap Advanced Toastmasters Club. Quantum Leap is a club that is for geeks and by geeks, but everyone's invited. And it is an advanced club, so its membership is open to dual members. Before we proceed, we have some protocols for this club. So the first is that we try to keep our videos open and our mics closed unless it's our turn to speak. Secondly, we try not to interrupt speakers and we try not to make comments during a speech, although we are welcome to do so after a speech. And thirdly, we volunteer not to talk about three topics: sex, religion, and politics, especially in the context of marginalizing any group of people or any individual, or be derogatory towards any person or culture or individual. So with that, let me hand over the charge to our Honorable President, Distinguished Toastmaster Saif Ali Sheikh. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Vice President, Education and Acting Sergeant at Arms, Timer, and the keynote speakers. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and have a bright day over here and the best evening in around the globe, and maybe the noon time is some people's over here. Again, we are here to learn from our fellow Toastmaster. And there's no ending on the learning. It is a continuous process. The more we involve with interaction with the people, the more we learn. And that is the beauty of the Toastmaster International. And as per the Toastmaster mission, we provide a sportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skill, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And the responsibilities is not lies on the executive committee or the Toastmaster of the day. It is our mutual, each and everyone who is a Toastmaster. He's responsible to provide a mutual benefit environment that everyone can grow independently. By having said that one, let me ask if there is any business. May I request our VP Education, do you have any information that officially we are, I think, Area 10, and when they are going to conduct their annual contest?
Well, fortunately, we have our area director with us, DTM Saad. DTM Saad, would you like to shed light on that?
Yes, actually, it's not been finalized yet. It will be decided in the upcoming week, and I will let the president and yourself know about it.
Okay, thank you very much, Toastmaster Saad. At the same time, I'm taking the privilege to request our immediate past district director. Do you have any information or any date for the district conference?
Well, sir, it will, again, it has not been finalized yet, but it will be late April or early May. That time frame has been established.
Late April it's mean right after the Ramadan.
Yes, exactly. Either in the last week of April or very early May.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other business?
Also, there's no other business except that I will once again request for evaluation, table topics, humorous, speech contest as we had. Rest, we are inviting nominations So I will urge members, if they are eligible, to submit their nominations.
I think all those are member of Quantum Leap Toastmaster, they are eligible to participate in any contest.
Well, sir, many are district leaders and many are competing from other areas. So they're precious few, actually.
That is the eligibility issue.
Yeah, exactly.
So, otherwise, everyone is qualifying to participate in the contest. Only the eligibility might be affected the member to participate at area, division, and even at club level contest. So by having said this one, if minutes of meetings are ready for the previous meeting?
Was held exactly 2 weeks ago. And the theme of the meeting was centered around the keynote from one of our engineer Toastmasters, Toastmaster, and he actually detailed a fit of inspiration he received while doing his business, and it related to the petroleum industry. So best speaker was won by myself. Best table topic speaker was won by Toastmaster Lydia Norman from Leaders Worldwide. Best lead evaluator, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh. Best round robin evaluator, DTM Sudarshan. Best big three, once again, DTM Sudarshan. And special recognition to our keynote speaker, Toastmaster Mufaddal Murtaza. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. If any addition, deletion to the minutes of meeting? If none, minutes of meetings are adopted as a true record of Quantum Leap Toastmaster Club. Let's move to our education sessions. And I'm requesting a person who is a champion. If I'm saying the champion, it's not limited to the public speaking. He's a champion in history, he's a champion of religion, he's a champion of science, and he is a geek also. So please put your hand together, welcoming Toastmaster Khurram Saeed Chishti to take over as TMOD.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. A theme today. If you look into your life and the history, is it not everything start with calculating something or measuring something? When you wake up first time in the morning, first thing what you do? You look at the clock. What time is it? So you are calculating something. The history of mathematics is as old as you can imagine. But in records, it says 3000 BC, at the time of Babylonians, at the time of Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians. The mathematic records are there. Although the pure practice of Pythagoreans starts almost 600 BC. And there are few records which are used till date, which are recorded 600 BC, means 2022 plus 600. So you can imagine how old this record is. But then look into your life. Everything is mathematics. When you are taking your salary on first day of a month or last days of the previous month, first thing come to your mind is that much will go to the rent, that much I will do for my kids, and that much will go to the grocery, and this is the saving of the month. When the tailor is cutting your dress, it's all about geometries. And we'll keep talking about mathematics and life today. That's the theme of the day, fellow Toastmasters. But let me now move a bit toward the agenda as well. Let me introduce the segments of the meeting, and I have a language evaluator with us, which is Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim. Would you please come up and explain your role and responsibilities?
Thank you very much. So being a language evaluator, I will be noting down some good usage, not so good usage of grammar. Moreover, I will be noting down who will be using the word of the day. So the word of the day for today is entity, which means a thing with distinct independent existence, existence or being. So it's the word of the day. So I would like to request everyone to use this word of the day during the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Toastmaster Language Evaluator. Our timer of the day is a very famous person. He is a versatile guy, and we are having been honored to have him as our timer, and he is GTM Talha bin Hamid. Would you please come upon and explain your role and responsibility?
Right, and thank you so much. So as timer, I will be keeping tabs on the timing of each and every segment. I'll also try to keep tabs on the overall timing of the meeting. So everyone knows the drill. When you reach a minimum time for a segment, it's green. When you reach the intermediate time, it's yellow. And when you reach the maximum allotted time, it's red. So for example, for a keynote, it will be 18 green, 20 yellow, and 22 red. For a table topic, it will be 1 minute, 1:30, and 2. And for an evaluation, it will be 2, 2:30, and 3. In addition to that, we also have round robin evaluations where we have allotted 1 minute each to each round robin evaluator. 3 shades will not be shown to them. Instead, when 1 minute is complete, only the red then. And whenever you see red, you have 30 seconds to wind up your presentation. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Fellow Toastmasters, if I just summarize today the agenda of the day, we are having a first education session of keynote speaker. Then we'll go to the segment or our famous segment of the prepared speeches. Then it will be a geek of the week, then table topics. Then we'll go for the overall evaluation and we'll round off the whole meeting. Now it's time for a very interesting complex session. And that complex session is going to be conducted by a person, as I just said. He is one solution fits all person. You do not need to think that this guy can do something, yes or no. You just need to think that he should be on board with you. He is the president of many clubs around the world. He is the VP Education of Quantum Leap Advanced Toastmasters Club. He is the immediate past district director of District 122. And he is none other than DTM Talha bin Hamid. I would like you to please raise your hands and give a big round of applause for our keynote speaker, DTM Talha bin Hamid.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Khurram. Fellow just let me start the timing. Yeah. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, the mathematics of a Toastmasters club. I'm sure many of us who have been or are club officers or district leaders have made quite a few calculations at one point in time. How to ensure our club's success? When will we get to the distinguished level of awards? How many people do we need to add to complete the 2 club goals? And so on and so forth. And if we are a president or VP education or a VP membership, we are constantly thinking, okay, we are almost into February and renewal cycle will start, how many members are likely to renew. All of this is going through our heads. But let me start with something else. And that something else is this, the speed of light. Now you would be thinking, what does it have to do with the price of coffee? Well, let me tell you. The speed of light is the most cruel limitation placed on humanity and on anything else in this universe. Why do I say that? Because according to the laws of physics, nothing can travel faster than the speed of light. But at the same time, when we look at the universe, there are parts which have been in existence since billions of years, and their light hasn't reached us yet. That means that there is something even faster than the speed of light, and that is the expansion of the universe that happened right after the Big Bang. How's that supposed to work? Have you even seen how far is the nearest galaxy or the nearest stars? The distances are measured in light years. That means that if we even travel at the speed of light, it will take us years and decades to get to any meaningful body outside our solar system. You forget about other galaxies and places that are thousands of light years away. Why is that a limitation? Because a human lifetime is just 80 years, 90 years, 100 years. And out of those years, the first 10 years are childhood. And the last 10 or 15 years, we are too fragile to do anything. What does that leave us with? It leaves us at the bottom of a well, and we try to crawl out of that well, but we fail because the walls of the well keep rising. Now imagine that we have a Toastmasters club, which has 20 members. And all 20 members want to make regular progress. They all want to make speeches. To you. This is my first equation of a Toastmaster. A is equal to N multiplied by S divided by 3. Now, what is A? A is the number of education awards. N is the number of meetings, and S is the number of speech slots. So, for example, if you're talking about 10 meetings, and there are 3 speech slots, that means that at the end of those 10 meetings, we'll end up with roughly 10 education awards. Now, why am I dividing by 3? I'm dividing by 3 because a complete path has around 15 projects, and there are 5 levels. So it's an average. We all know that level 1 has quite a few more projects, and level 4 and 5 have 2 projects each. But for simplicity's sake, we are assuming that every level has 3 projects. Then there's this second equation, which is T is equal to F into S into M divided by 3. Now, what is T? T is time taken for a number of awards in months. F is the frequency of meetings per month, and M is the number of months. And S, once again, is the number of speech slots. So for example, if Quantum Leap's frequency of meetings per month is 2, the speech slots are 2, and we are calculating for 6 months. That means that 6 into 2, 12, into 2, 24, divided by 3. That makes 8. And that means that by the end of 6 months, Quantum Leap should have achieved 8 education awards. Now take a look at this. This may be very familiar to you. This is the education portion of the club success plan, where Toastmasters asks us to ensure level 1 award, level 2 awards, more level 2 awards, level 3 awards, and so on. I have calculated the number of speeches required for each award. And it works out that to complete all these goals, we need to have at least 44 speeches. And what's more, something that is not captured here, those 44 speeches need to be made in such a manner that members are progressing and members are not repeating themselves. Because if members repeat themselves, their repeated level completions are not counted in pathways. For example, if I'm doing level 1 of a path, that first one will be counted. But if I complete level 1 once again in the same year, that will not be counted. Instead, it needs to be a different member that needs to be completing level 1 for it to be counted. And in a way, that first target is quite difficult. It is the toughest because we need to have 4 level 1 awards. And let me remind you that level 1 has 5 speeches. So in a beginner level, when a starting member is not that familiar with Toastmasters and its culture, either they're too enthusiastic, in which case the level 1 will complete by itself. Some people are enthusiastic, they complete a speech every week and it takes care of itself. But if they're not enthusiastic, they need to be pushed. We need to allocate resources as club officers to push them continuously. And it becomes quite a tough task. Once a member has completed level 1 though, it is relatively easy for them to go to level 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because when they complete level 1, that means they're sufficiently motivated and they've received 1 level completion award. And chances are that they will move on to level 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the higher they go up, the more exciting and comprehensive the projects become. There are panel discussions, there are project management exercises, there are online meeting management exercises, there are keynote speeches. So the sense of importance of a project increases radically once you go to level 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, okay, now moving on, all that is fine. But have you ever considered that when we have 20 members and all members want to speak, what does that mean? It means that even if we assign 4 speaking slots per week, the members need to be rotated in order to ensure even progress. And that means that if I am speaking today, my next turn to speak will be 5 weeks afterwards. Imagine 5 weeks between projects. 5 weeks. And that is only if the club meets weekly. If the club meets fortnightly like Quantum Leap does, the time between speeches will be 10 weeks. And that is a built-in structure of 20 speeches and maybe having a 2-hour meeting and having a finite number of speech slots. Imagine if you're a club officer and all of your members need to speak. It will become a nightmare, let me tell you. It will be like a bank run, where if you're a bank and everybody turns up to withdraw their money in one day, what will happen? You won't be able to pay them out because you have only a tiny portion of that money available with you. The rest you have invested. You're counting on the fact that not everybody will be coming to withdraw their money at any given day. Similarly, and unfortunately, in a Toastmasters club, we are counting on the fact that not all members will be interested in making speeches. I'm not saying that we don't want them to make speeches. What I'm saying is that the inherent mathematical structure of a Toastmasters club basically makes these assumptions for you. So for example, our first conclusion is that the makeup of DCP is designed around the fact that most members do not make speeches or they do so very rarely. In any given club, there's just a select bunch of members who are very enthusiastic towards making speeches, and they keep making speeches, and that's how they complete their levels and their pathways goals are achieved. But what about the rest of the members? Most of the members are just there for the roles. Imagine if all of them wanted to speak. Conclusion 2, the only workable frequency for member engagement is weekly at least. Especially for a club that is not advanced. I personally believe that in order to ensure the member rotation and in light of the mathematical considerations that we just witnessed, it is best to have a weekly frequency for a Toastmasters club. Even if you meet for 1.5 hours or 2 hours, it is better to have a weekly frequency. Now, there are clubs in this world which go far above and beyond the Distinguished Club program. There's even a website called TM Tools that has been initiated by the immediate past district director of District 57, Gary Marshall. And he has a whole set of tools that mines data from Toastmasters website, it presents it. And one of those tools is the top performing clubs in the world in terms of education award. And that is one way to gauge where you stand against the rest of the world. It's not necessarily a device to force you to try for that top 10 or top 1 position. But it does give you context about what some of the exceptionally successful clubs in the world are doing and some of the practices that you can adopt as a club officer. So what do game-changing clubs do? They increase the number of speech slots. So for example, my other home club has 8 speech slots per meeting and it meets weekly. Some clubs that I know of, they even hold multiple meetings every week. Because remember what I said earlier about the design frequency of speeches. 5 weeks, 1 speaker and 5 weeks. So With 4 speaking slots and a weekly frequency, the time between speeches will be 5 weeks. Imagine if we double this to 8 speaking slots, then the average time reduces to 2.5 weeks, which is a little bit more reasonable. They run parallel pods and breakout rooms. Some of the clubs are doing that. They're holding separate pods for level 1, 2, and they're holding separate spaces for levels beyond. And both are happening simultaneously. And the members can choose to be in whatever space they want to be. And finally, they send their members elsewhere to fulfill their needs. We're all very familiar with it. When the contest season is around, we send our contestants to other clubs around the world to ensure that they complete 2 levels of pathways, which makes them eligible for international speech contests. So some clubs are doing this so that their members can achieve their desired targets in terms of level completion. Now, what has changed that is resulting in all these additional considerations? What has changed since the past few years? Since I joined Toastmasters in 2016, we had the old curriculum, and now we have pathways. In the old curriculum, you only obtained a level completion award when you completed 10 projects, and not before that. Whereas, as we saw in Pathway, that number is 3 projects. So that is one change that has come. The second is, and we should realize this fact, that several years ago, we could easily ask people to prepare for weeks before delivering a speech. And people used to do that. Even on the meeting day, if they felt that they were only 90% there and not 100% there in terms of preparation, they withdrew. But times have changed. The new generation, the young people, Generation Zers, they don't believe in perfectionism. Rather, they believe in taking the plunge and then seeing how things go. So the first takeaway is that now people no longer prepare for weeks for a speech. They used to do that, and some of the senior Toastmasters still do that. But most of the younger members don't do that. The second thing that has changed is that people expect rapid progress. Once they take up membership, they have paid the fee, they expect to be given speech slots quickly so that they can attain their levels. And it is their right. As club officers, we owe them that. If they want to make a speech every week, by all means, they should be able to make a speech every week. We are no one to judge whether they're well prepared or not. That is a job of their evaluator and their mentors. But if they're asking for a speech slot, we better give it to them. And that is the secret to member retention and retaining enthusiasm, because an engaged member is an easy renewal. If a member is on level 1 and level 2 and the renewal time comes, they will want to be able to access their path. And they will hate it if the access to their path is blocked. So they will renew instantly. And thirdly, the focus has shifted from skill development to the number of awards against your name. That's a slightly negative aspect of the scenario that has developed over the past years. Of course, we know that Toastmasters is first and foremost about skill development. It's not about whether you're a DTM or you've completed this number of paths. It is about how you assess yourself to be and how others assess your skills to be. But unfortunately, due to the culture and the atmosphere that we live in, not only people expect quick results, they also expect tangible results. So they always ask that how many months will it take for me to complete a path and the second path, and then on to DTM, what do I need to do? In a way, it's good. It keeps people driven and motivated, but it can also take the focus away from developing as a communicator and leader to just having that X number of projects against your name. And one of the main reasons for that is that Toastmasters is not a pass or fail proposition. If you do horribly at a project, you can still log it against your name. No one has the authority to tell you that you need to repeat that project. Although your mentor or evaluator may suggest that to you, the ultimate decision lies with you. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, this is the new mathematics of Toastmasters clubs. And rather than resist it, it's high time that we got with the times. And as much as it pains us to do so, some of the things that we need to do are necessary for members' development and growth. So with that, I hope that you've understood well enough what it takes to build a successful and an extraordinarily successful Toastmasters club, and what it takes, most importantly, what does it take to keep members engaged and to provide full service to them. Over to you, Toastmaster.
What a wonderful way to understand how to lead your clubs in a successful way. Very much congratulations, Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid, distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid, on completing your project, and a very well-deserved round of applause for that one. Is there a QA session? Because into that, yes. So we are now opening the slot for questions and answers. Please either raise your hand or unmute yourself, and please feel free to ask questions to our keynote speaker. Is there any question around? DTM Saif Ali Sheikh.
I have a question.
I will go, Arun. You will take the question from
Yes,
other
yes.
one.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Please go ahead, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster, and in particular, our keynote speaker, DTM Talha bin Ahmed. You explain comprehensive detail about the time management of the club. I prefer if you can add mentor and mentee relationship and how much time it's required to develop for the speakers, so that will added value to your time management presentation. What about what do you think about it?
Thank you so much, DTM Saif. I think that's a very valid suggestion. Since this keynote was centered around the overall management of a club, but yes, the mentor-mentee relationship is a very key part of a club's progress. And people frequently ask that how much time do we require to invest every week or every fortnight to progress in Toastmasters. So, for example, if someone targets to complete a project every other week, that means that there will be the time they take to write that project. Then there will be the time they'll need to consult their mentor and get their input on that particular project. And then it's time to practice. And this time can vary from speaker to speaker depending on the skill level. But going by averages, I believe that it roughly takes at least half a day to craft a project, at least. they'll get back to you with suggestions. So I found that that process takes half a day to 1 day at least. And then there's a practice, and the practice is the more you do, the better. But at least 2 days and certain periods during those 2 days. One of the things that I found out is that the best place to practice a project is your car while you're commuting to and from work. No one is there to disturb you. And yes, people all around are looking at you, and perhaps some of them are thinking about reporting you to a mental institution. But other than that, at least you're not surrounded by people in your home or at your workplace, and you have complete solitude to practice your project, and you can do all sorts of weird vocal exercises. So yeah, practice, I believe, for a well-practiced project, at least it takes 4 to 5 hours. So if we round it out, maybe it takes at least 2 days to prepare for a project fully well. And in a number of hours, I believe it will take at least at the very least 5 to 6 hours. So I hope that answers some of your query.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, GTM Saif Ali Sheikh. GTM Cynthia, you were having a question. Please go ahead.
I think it was about mentorship also. So you answered that really well. But I'm wondering where you base that millennials don't, I don't know if you said millennials, but the younger people don't spend as much time preparing as the older generation. And so how much time did the older generation prepare compared to the newer generation?
Well, I'm one of the fortunate few who have witnessed the transition from the old curriculum to the new curriculum. So it has less to do with the people who are involved and more to do with the curriculum that we used to have and now we have. So the older curriculum, if you recall, used to have different evaluation sheets for every project, and the evaluators were extremely particular. They went through the project line by line and they got you out. That has been my personal experience. So those projects necessarily required more time to prepare. And now that we have pathways, those projects are designed to make rapid progress. And that is something that I've observed too. Our senior Toastmasters and us included, we are aware of a time when we used to take weeks to prepare for a project. But I don't find that kind of patience, so to speak, in the younger members. So that is more observational and less of a comment on anything. It's more a function of my interaction with various Toastmasters over the years. So I hope that answers your question, Cynthia.
Yeah, and so that was more like you're looking at the difference in pathways for the event. It was more in the legacy program. The questions were specific to that project, where now all the questions are the same. Just thank you.
Thank you, GTM Cynthia. We still have 2 minutes to go for some further questions. Is anybody else like to ask a question? If there is no further question, I would like to thank with a big round of applause to our keynote speaker for an excellent explanation of how to lead the clubs and handle the questions. Now we'll move to our next educational segment. But before that, give a point of ponder. Sometimes the people think that they are more artistic or they are more toward the humanitarian subjects connection, and they are not mathematicians, and they don't have a connection with the mathematics. But then so many fathers I have seen in the supermarket standing in front of the diaper lines and calculating that 75 diapers is $30 and 55 diapers are $20, and they are calculating then how much is $1 cost in actual. That's what is the mathematics is all about in our life. We are clustered around with the mathematics. Even in the test exam for every student, we are seeing how much score we have done. Even in the kitchen, the wife, when she is baking a cake or making an apple pie, she is calculating how many grams of baking soda, how many grams of the flour. So everything around us is mathematics and mathematics and mathematics. Even when you are switching on and switching off the light, you're looking at your energy meter, how much I have spent the electricity in a month. Because at the end of the day, with those X units multiplied by the Y cost, how much bill is going to come? So we are on the hands of the mother of every subject in the world, mathematics. With this note, let's move on to our next educational session, which is the prepared speeches. Before that, I would like to ask DTM Talha bin Hamid for giving a 2-minute explanation of modular evaluation program.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. So this modular evaluation is the brainchild of one of our founder members, DTM Sudarshan, and it is unlike any other advanced evaluation format. Instead of having a panel discussion around commendations and recommendations, what we do is that, of course, there's a lead evaluation, and after that, there is a round-robin evaluation of visual aspects. So visual aspects include body language and background, and also gestures and movement. Then there are the auditory aspects, which are vocal variety, voice modulation, the confidence in your voice, your role play. Then there are the perceptible aspects, which are about the impact of the speech on the audience, whether it had an impact on the audience, did it achieve the desired impact that its subject actually implied. And finally, there are the structural aspects. Did the speech have a proper structure? Did it transition neatly from one portion to another? Did it have a good conclusion? So in a way, it covers a speech from every possible aspect, and it also incidentally provides very good preparation for speech contests. So over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, DTM Talha bin Hamid. Our first speaker is yet another important pillar in our club. And fellow Toastmasters, let me take a moment to speak around this one in this club. I'm a very proud member of this club as well, because every person you take, every single person has his own special abilities. They are very strong, bright stars, strong pillars of this building. And today, our first speaker, she is always amazing me with her charisma, her enthusiasm. If I'm not mistaken, right now it's 11 or 10 in the night where she is sitting, and it looks like she's just going to start her day. She's being president of so many clubs. She's VP in so many different clubs around the Toastmasters. She's the coach, she's a public speaker and a mentor. She's none other than DTM Cynthia Stott. Her evaluator is DTM Talha bin Hamid. I will request him to take her through her project details.
Thank you so much, DTM Cynthia Stott, amongst many other things, she's one of the past evaluation champions of District 57. She is the founder of Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club. And above all that, she is always an inspiring and eloquent speaker. This particular project is supposed to be a contest speech, so it does not require a specific project or introduction. And before I move on, I'll introduce my evaluation team. The visual aspects of the speech will be evaluated by DTM Saad Shoaib, the auditory aspect by Toastmaster Khurram Saeed, the perceptible aspects by Toastmaster Osama Ali, and structural by DTM Saf. So DTM Cynthia Stott, Once Upon a Love Story. Once Upon a Love Story, DTM Cynthia Stott.
Bring, 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 bring. No answer. I wonder what happened. Bring, bring. Hey, Mish, would you mind coming up to the apartment to meet me? I can't seem to get a hold of Dean. I don't know, something happened, but we'll probably laugh about it and have dinner together. I arrived at Buckhead and I opened the door and opened to the lobby. And there's my in-laws right there. I give a big hug, a big hug to my father-in-law. And he pulls me closer and he says, Dean is gone. He died in his sleep. No. I can't believe. Oh, I'm devastated. At that moment, my heart broke into 1,000 pieces. My chain. I cried 21 days. I cried so I had no more tears. I drank some water and then I could cry some more. I never knew that that kind of sorrow could have such a devastating effect to my body. I could barely move. It took me an hour and a half to cook my breakfast. Eggs and toast. I didn't know what to do. Let me take you back to when me and Dean met in 1989. We were studying in the chemistry studying room and we had chemistry. Two nerds appeased a pod and we fell in love. He would hit my heart and start pounding and I would just melt over. He wasn't my ideal man. He was very different. He was like me, blonde hair, blue eyes, and he couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. But when he sang to me, you are so beautiful to me. His eyes were full of love, true love, and that melted my heart. And we got married in 1995. We were on a cruise to Alaska and we traveled the world. We traveled to England and Scotland and Japan. And there we held hands under the table like honeymooners. We thought we were sly. But our teppanyaki chef who was cooking away for us, he noticed, he saw us holding hands. And he made our rice into a heart and served us from there. Whew. I was stretching because I was terrified. I had 7 strong phobias, including speaking, public speaking, and visibility. I was terrified of everything. And Dean said a month before he died, hold you back. You can be so much more than you think you can. I tried to argue. No, you don't. He would take no for an answer. He saw what I could become. And yelled at me from the grave, beyond the grave. And he said, if you die, I will never forgive you because you must live. And I could have laid on the couch and get up. To a self-discovery workshop. And if you were sitting next to me, you would have heard the instructor say, your life is a blank sheet of paper upon which you draw. What do you want to draw? Courage. I need courage. Dean was my courage. He was my rock. So I had to move forward by myself because Dean needed me to. So maybe you've had a loss, maybe a spouse, parent, even a child. And if they truly love you, they want you to move forward. They don't want you just to exist. They want you to truly live. So do it for Dean, or do it for your loved one, because Dean had some wisdom to share with us. Grief is a process, not a life sentence. Let me say that again. Grief is a process, not a life sentence. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, GTM Cynthia Stott. I have few words that I would like to share, but after the lead evaluator's evaluation. Over to you, lead evaluator, GTM Talha bin Hamid.
Thank you so much. Let me just fix the windows first. Yeah. All right. What a love story, Diti and Cynthia. A love story which we all knew would end in tragedy because you made that clear right from the start. And one would think that that was kind of going against the grain, because usually when we witness speeches, they travel towards their conclusion, and conclusion is something that is completely surprising and completely against your expectations. You did all that within the first 30 seconds. And the first thing that I noticed in your speech was how you commanded our attention in the first 30 seconds by miming the telephone ring and going through the acts of that horrid day in your life. We are always given a tip that, if you grab your audience's attention in the first 30 seconds, you're pretty much good to go for the rest of the speech. And that's what happened today, at least to me. And then the transition between meeting your in-laws and you being ecstatic at seeing them, but then learning the terrible reason for which they were there. That was heartbreaking, that was shocking. And at the same time, that was exactly how we experience such situations in real life. So you had some very clever wordplay when you're telling your love story. For example, you met in the chemistry class and you had chemistry. He couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. And then you showed us your picture, and that was something that really, really touched all of our hearts. That was so lovely to see. And then you mentioned about the chef preparing the rice in the shape of a heart. All of that painted a very fairy tale, magical love story. And we were all absorbed in that magic. You had basically perfect voice modulation, eye contact, movement, and gestures. And as you were traveling through the emotions of your speech, you became that person. So when you were vulnerable, you looked vulnerable. When you decided to be stronger for Dean, you were that stronger person. And finally, your message. Grief is a process, not a life sentence. How profound that is. All of us who have lost a close loved one would identify with that. So your speech was highly spiritual. It was transformative. It was thoroughly substantial and meaningful. So with that, I would now move on to our first panel evaluator, who will be commenting on the visual aspects. DTM.
Thank you very much, lead evaluator DTM Talabit Hamid. DTM Cynthia. That was perhaps one of the most heartwarming speech I've ever heard in my Toastmaster journey. And since I'm commenting on the visual aspect, I believe, first of all, your background was quite perfect, and it was not distracting the audience to look left or right. So you were at the center of attention to the viewers. When you proceeded with your story, like the lead evaluator said, that that expression were changing in on your face. So that was and another positive aspect. First, I thought the recommendation would be that your lighting was a bit low, but when I heard your speech was about a love story, that lighting, that low lighting match the content of your speech. So well done to you, and it over to the lead evaluator, DTM Tala.
Thank you so much. Next, to the auditory aspects, Toastmaster Khurram Saeed.
Thank you, Mr. Lead Evaluator. What a beautiful, emotional story, DTM Cynthia, and very well placed with the auditory aspects of the speech. When you start with a ringing tone from your own voice, that was very nice. When you were talking about your better half, that he is blonde hair, he's blue eyes, the excitement in your sound was very nice. many places we see sound modulation. So all goes very well. But I would like to point out some part of that, since it's an emotional, romantic, dramatic story. And since yesterday was the 25th anniversary of a very famous movie, Titanic, and since I was listening to your speech, the last dialogues of Titanic was hitting my ears. Jack Dawson is saying to the Rose, "You should never let it go." And she's saying, "Promise, I will never let it go." So that same analogy come to my mind, and I would suggest as a recommendation that when you are saying that he's taking not no for answer, and I promise I will never let go, add a bit drama into that, more enthusiastic and passion into that, and that add a spice to your speech even more. Over to you, lead evaluator.
Thank you so much. Next, we will have Toastmaster Osama Ali covering the perceptible aspects. So over to you, Toastmaster Osama.
Thank you so much, DTM Talha. Well, I must appreciate DTM Cynthia Short for telling us such an amazing love story. It was the way she was transitioning, and it was literally feeling to me that I was also present in the story. So I must really congratulate and appreciate her for that. Over to you, DTM Talha.
Thank you so much. And for the last part, the structural aspects, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh. Sir, you're muted. Yeah.
Yes, I was muted. As old I am, Okay. Thank you very much, DTM Tala, and thank you very much, DTM Santhia. What a wonderful speech you have delivered. It's an emotional and sentimental speech. But having said this one, my part is the structural one. And since it is not a project speech, it is a contest speech. So I will consider it a contest speech. So you started with the telephone ringing, and then you start with you just take us to the history back when you met with the dean, and after that you married in 1995. And 1 month that if I'm your place, I will mention about the year of the death also. At what time he was passed away, and he left you, and if once you go through with the self-discovery workshop, I am expecting from you that you are going to give us the tips how we can come out from the griefs. The step number one, this step number two, this step number three, this. That will give the added value to the audience. They will take home about the step to come back with the grief. That's what I'm expecting from you. Over to DTM Tala.
Thank you so much. And one last bit of feedback that I would give, since I was running out of time on the main evaluation, there was just one improvement area that I could think of, and that was that DTM Cynthia, unlike last time, you had a lot of time left this time. So you covered all the material beautifully. But you barely cracked the 6-minute mark. So perhaps if you want to add something more, you have plenty of space for that. So DTM Cynthia, what do you think about the feedback?
This was really good feedback. I really appreciate it. What I started with was what Patricia Phipps refers to as a Rambo start. And that's why I did it, because that first 30 seconds is important. And the fact that I had to go me and the audience down in emotion, I had the rest of the speech to bring it up. And so that was really something that I'm toying with. And I did forget some spots in the middle. So I could definitely fill up a little more time. I like that. I need to write it out and make my every scenario, and I can choreograph like a dance. I choreograph my speeches. And I need to do that with every little segment and decide what I'm going to say and not say. Yeah, that was great. Thank you for all of your feedback. It was really, really good.
Thank you so much, DTM Cynthia. Trust me, I speak for everyone, I believe, when I say that indeed, if you did forget something, we never detected it. So, so kudos to you. And over to you, Toastmaster of the.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lead Evaluator and DTM Cynthia for a mind-blowing speech. There is few feedbacks for you in the chat box, and I would request if anybody else want to give the feedback, please send directly to DTM Cynthia for her speech and improvement. Thank you very much for helping her in improving her speeches. Moving next to our next speaker. Our next speaker is a married person with 3 kids. He would like to write very good emails, but he don't find a place in his passion to speak publicly in a very easy zone. He's related to the shipping industry from last 20 years, and today he is presenting his icebreaker. His lead evaluator is DTM Saad Shoaib. DTM Saad Shoaib, I would like to request you to explain the project details for Toastmaster Atif Sattar.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Khurram. Fellow Toastmasters, honorable guests from all over the world, we are about to experience an icebreaker by Toastmaster Atif, and the purpose of this icebreaker is for the member to introduce him or herself to the club and know about the basic speech method. The speech length is 4 to 6 minutes, and my modular evaluation team consists of the visual evaluator DTM Seth, the auditory evaluator Toastmaster Osama, the perceptible evaluator Toastmaster Zara, and the structural evaluator is Toastmaster Khurram. So best of luck, Toastmaster Atif, and it's over to you.
Toastmaster Atif, yeah, please turn on your video.
Right now?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning and good evening, good afternoon. Let me introduce myself, then I will go with the topic of the today. My name is Atif. I was blogging from the shipping industry last 20 years, and currently I am doing as a account manager sales as a Hapag Lloyd. This is a German-based company. We have the 5 regional offices in all over the world. As I'm belonging from the regional Middle East, which is sitting in the Dubai location. So now I'm back to my speech as a moment in my life. So I'm starting with my speech. So basically, I'm born in my Mehman family, and our family business is plastic and printing. We are handling top Pakistan textile companies regarding the plastics and the printing. And also, as I'm belonging with the Mehman family, so that is why I love to play with the numbers. So for once I heard of the Mehman, so one of the very famous client in my mind. And I heard the majority of people in the Pakistan from the Mehman are born with the golden spoon. So this is a very different thing. Our shop is located in the Court Market, Karachi, and everyone knows which type of the people are coming in this market. They have come, so that is a bit different thing for me. Well, I am completed my graduation from St. Patrick College, Karachi in 2003, and then after completion of my graduation, I joined my family business. But the atmosphere of the market was very difficult for me to absorb because I was a mummy daddy boy. That was not my appetite. Majority of people is chewing pan in good cars and pork everywhere, and very different things for me that they start conversation with the abuse words. That things were getting frustrating me. So then I decided to quit the family business and continue my career with a job. So I started my journey in 2003 July as in the shipping industry as a customer executive. I switched companies in a 5 years because I was just going through the motions, not really sure what I want to do with my life. I was unfulfilled and unmotivated, but was doing work very hard and promised with my job. Uh, in the last company happened where I continue my career. So I get a promotion as a CS head. One fine day, the management called me and they shared all the details. They are starting to want to start one new department as a sales support. They need a one sales support team leader in this for this department, so they nominated me. So this is a very good thing for me. So here I have to lead a team from the front. The department role is to provide all the backups to the sales department. Sales department going to the market for the journey, the cargoes and everything, and in the backup of the sales support team. They are communicating with the regional office, head office, and the trade department where they negotiate the freight. And the term of the freight, the money involved, and anywhere, when I have here is the number is involved. So because of that, I play with the number. Suddenly one day I came in the office, my commercial manager called me and told me that the entire sales team is going to the Islamabad to attend a one annual sales meeting with the regional trade. So you are for the acting manager for all the commercial things, and you have to take lead the team from the front and handle all the commercial things, and you will have to take some decision for the commercials and the vessel utilization pricing. So I was excited after this meeting, and I was feel like just I am the new boss for the company because of the commercial department is always the value and all the organizations. So I handle all the forecasting and pricing things and all the customer issues smoothly and lead the team from the front. That was unbelievable experience for me. I knew it would not be easy, but I was determined to make it happen. I started communication with the region and head office as well. We are different mentally people in the head office, and there's scope to big and think beyond of us. It was a totally new experience for me, and that's very challenging for me. But I decided that the time has come to show what I am, and I so waited long for this opportunity where I have to show my skill. I took me a find myself, but I never gave up. I landed a job as account manager sales, and further I leading up the trade department like Europe from the Pakistan side, and I have very definitely is a grow this Europe trade from the Pakistan. It's a very good, but that is my pivotal moment when I discovered my passion for commercial. I changed my life forever. It showed me that I never too late to change your path, pursue your dreams, and I want to encourage all of you to do the same. If you are not happy with where you are in your life, so don't be afraid to take a chance and make a changes. Life is too short to be unhappy. So I will end this topic. One of the good lines, which is also by Atif Zeta personally. So always remember that you have a power to change your life and never give up on your dreams. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Very well placed icebreaker. I'll hand over the charge to the lead evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, and also, of course, Toastmaster Atif. That was a very insightful icebreaker that had that mixed motivation with profession, and of course at the end it gave us a message which is very much rare in an icebreaker speech. So that showed you were very much confident, number one, and number two, you were well prepared about what to say and how to say it. Your gestures were pretty much on point with the content of your speech, the way you were describing various occurrence of your career and your life, moving from Karachi and telling us about your family business and also the struggles you had to face. One point which is again very much rare in an icebreaker is that your speech had the humor element in it. So you choose the term "mummy daddy boy," which is very much common for the people living in Pakistan, in Karachi and in Islamabad, and they will know what it means. And then you said you had changed 5 jobs in 5 years. You are seeing a person who has changed 8 jobs in 3 years. So we are very much alike in that. And now, and one more, your speech had an opening, a body, and you ended with a message which is again very good for a first speech. And some areas you can work upon, maybe just lower down the pace of your speech, so we can better understand your content, even though it was quite okay, but if you lower down your pace, then we'll be able to digest each and every chunk much better. And number two, it seemed like you were actually reading the speech. Yes, it's an icebreaker, that's okay, but maybe just have some bullet points, and then you can make a speech around that. But overall, like I said, a masterful icebreaker. And now I would like to invite my panel of evaluators. The first one is the visual evaluator, who is DTM Saif. So over to you, sir. Sir, you're on mute.
Let me unmute myself. Thank you very much, DTM Saad, and in particular, Toastmaster Atif. Toastmaster Atif, I need your attention, please. Toastmaster Atif, it's a wonderful speech you have delivered today as an icebreaker. and you are marvelously using your hand gesture, and that is added value to your speech. But having said this one, I'm just going to focus myself toward the visual one. I have noticed that you are looking from the one side only, not to the camera. So you are not connecting with the audience at all. So if you're not connecting with the audience is not going to be interested from you. So try to connect with the audience. Number two, I notice the light from the one side of your face and the other side is a dark one. If you arrange the light in such a way that your face can be seen, so we can see your facial expression properly, and we can give the comment on your facial expression. My suggestion is that if you will arrange in such a way that you can stand and deliver the speech, it will give the value to your speech. Over to the lead evaluator.
Thank you very much, DTM staff. Next is the auditory part of the evaluation, and that will be done by Toastmaster Usama. So Toastmaster Usama, over to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Rajveer. I hope our speaker, Toastmaster Atif, is with us. Toastmaster Atif, are you there?
Not actually with us, but this meeting is being.
Yeah, you can continue.
recorded. We can continue. Toastmaster Osama, you aren't audible properly. Can you please come
Yeah.
closer to the mic?
I am audible now.
Yes.
Well, I would like to just comment on the auditory aspect, that as it was Toastmaster Atif's first speech, so that we can give him some time, because when I was listening to his speech, it was clearly visible that there was some problem on the auditory aspect. So I will definitely say to Toastmaster Atif that next time, whenever you are joining Toastmasters meeting, or you're delivering a speech, you should check the mic or your laptop speaker, that is it working correctly or not. Otherwise, your content was good and your speech was good. Over to you, DTM Saad.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Osama. And next is the perceptible part of the evaluation, and that will be done by Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim. So Toastmaster Zara, over to you.
Thank you. Being an perceptible evaluator, so although it was a very good attempt, being a speaker when it comes to giving an icebreaker speech, but there were a lot of you can say we could even observe the message or listen to the message that power to change your life, never give up on your dreams. But you were the rate of speech was very high, and because of that we were able to it was difficult for us to understand because it was difficult for us to understand the transitions, or you can say the real meaning of your speech. So although it was a very good attempt, and you could improve on that. And over to you, DTM sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Zara. And the final part is the structural evaluation, which will be done by Toastmaster Forum. So over to you, Toastmaster Forum Saeed.
Thank you, Mr. Lead Evaluator. Toastmaster Atif, congratulations on completing your icebreaker. We all have been where you are today. It was a nice structure, and you placed it very well. You started in a nice start, body, and ending. I would recommend you to add a bit flavor of your life now. What is the expectation with the Toastmasters as well? So when you are ending up, you are adding your life goal, which is very important and is very nicely placed. What pull you into the Toastmaster? What are your expectations? How you are going to be connected with them while you are like we are sitting, at least if you are not standing, you're sitting up straight, those kind of things, and pauses, as some of the evaluator says, pauses are very important. So in between, if you are taking a pauses in your structure, the structure what you have developed for your speech, we can understand it in a better way that what is why you are transiting. So over to you, lead evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Khurram. So finally, I would like to invite Toastmaster Atif to please give the feedback about the feedbacks by the evaluators.
Thank you very much. We are happy to discuss first what we are at what stage to make success. Actually, my first when usually use the choice that I have not my regarding the communication that I express myself. I have a lot of the self I will notice all your questions points, and definitely I will work on it, and you will see the very good and very better. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Atif. We've all been there, like Toastmaster Khurram said, and you'll only get better from here. And with that, it's back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Khurram.
Thank you, Mr. Lead Evaluator, and congratulations to Toastmaster Atif. Fellow Toastmasters, we are at schedule and we are almost 11 minutes behind our schedule. So let me quickly move to our another segment, which is a very exciting, very fun, full of fun session of table topic. And our table topic master of the day is none other than Toastmaster Usama Ali. Over to you, Toastmaster Usama Ali.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Khurram. As you are saying that we are 11 minutes already ahead of time. So can you let me know that how much time I have for this section?
I would suggest if you can, please go ahead, DTM Talha.
Yeah, you can call 3 speakers.
Okay. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, this is Usama Ali here, and I am your table topics master for today. And as a table topics masters, I would like to tell you that there will not be just random simple questions. In fact, there will be some challenging sentences for you so that I can get some curiosity out of your mind. So whenever any speaker is coming, just give your one-line introduction, and then I will be asking question from you. Your one-line introduction. So who is going to volunteer first?
I think call Toastmaster Isaac, the guest Isaac with us.
Okay, sure, I'll try. I can't turn on my video though, but sure, I'll give it a shot.
So Toastmaster Isaac, kindly give your one-line introduction, and then I will ask you a question.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, would you repeat what you just said?
I am saying kindly give your one-line introduction, and then I will ask you a question.
Oh, one line of introduction. Okay. I am a Toastmaster and just enjoy listening to speeches and going to Toastmaster meetings.
Okay. So Toastmaster Isaac, your question for today is renting a house is better than buying. Renting a house is better than buying. You have to agree or disagree with this statement and tell your opinion on this. Renting a house is better than buying.
Thank you for that. Definitely buying, but the problem is most people can't come up with the down payment because everybody can probably pay for the mortgage, but the down payment is what keeps them out. So owning your home is better. But I know for years, me personally, I was I was lucky in the sense that my parents bought a house, so I didn't have to really worry about paying the rent. But I always say it's like when you're paying rent, it's just like taking that money and just flushing it down the toilet, because it's you know, you don't get anything out of it. But you know, like I said, unfortunately, I just know too many people that are renting. So, but if you can own, that's the way to go, because the landlord can't raise your rent. The only people can raise your rent is the tax adjuster or the home insurance. So owning your home, no question about it. That's the best way to go. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Isaac, for giving us such a nice opinion of yours. Now I would like to call our other guest. We have guest Rosie. So, guest, kindly give us your one-line introduction, Rosie.
I'm a Toastmaster and I belong to 6 clubs. I qualify as a tragic, in as much as a Toastmaster tragic is somebody who will leave one meeting to go to another Toastmasters meeting. And I did that a couple of months ago. So I'm officially a tragic, but it's great to be here. Thank you very much for welcoming me.
So your question for today is, my biggest concern for the future is? Your question for today is, my biggest concern for the future is?
That's an excellent question, Toastmaster or Table Topics Master. My biggest concern for the future is mankind itself. We've been here for a long time, many generations, and it seems as though we are still learning the same lessons. And sometimes, especially if you look at the news, which I try not to, you'd wonder whether we've actually learned the lessons at all, or if we're at least going in circles, we're not progressing. So my biggest concern is that we haven't got it right yet in terms of living peaceful lives, of living lives in community and wanting to get on with each other. Sure, we want to get on with our neighbours in our small communities, in our towns. I live in a small town of about 5,000 people, so I don't understand city living. But we all want to get on, and we get on reasonably well. But what about this nation stuff? And what about all of the different groups that there are which are disenfranchised and isolated and pushed aside as them is not like us, therefore they're not good? And I just wonder when we're going to get ourselves over that and get on with embracing and moving forward and living our best lives everywhere on the planet, and perhaps even off the planet. But I just think we've got such incredible brains. We could be doing so much more than this squabbling and being greedy and not sharing and not loving everybody. So that's my biggest concern for the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rosie, for giving us such a nice opinion of yours on such a great topic. Now I would like to call our Toastmaster of the day, because it's been a long time I have heard from him. Toastmaster Khurram Chishti, are you ready?
I'm ever ready.
Oh, good to see you. So Toastmaster Khurram, your one-line introduction.
Hello, fellow Toastmaster. I am Khurram Saeed. I am the member of not 6, but 6x2 3 clubs. And I'm I'm Toastmaster of the Day and I'm VPM in Quantum Leap Toastmasters Club.
So Toastmaster Khurram, your question for today is, it is better to be influential than rich. The question for today is, it is better to be influential than rich.
Fellow Toastmasters, have you ever thought that it is important to be impactful or live forever? If you want to be just impactful and live just the moment, then choose rage, because rage is not that bad as you think, because it will be effective to short period of time. But if you want to live forever, if you want to be in memories, in mind, and go on forever, then forget about rage. Be influential, be acceptable, be like a water. Water is kettle if you put it in a kettle, bottle if you put it in a bottle, and glass if you put it into a glass. Accept the peoples, accept the differences, accept the way they are. Because if you trying to find always what is right and wrong, there's always something right and there's always something wrong in both sides of the road. So try to be influential, try to be connecting the dots rather than rageful, breaking the things. And if you really want to be rageful, buy one PlayStation for yourself and be as rageful into the games and break as many walls and the people you want to be. That's the way of enjoying the life as well. Over to you, Toastmaster, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Khurram. Well, how beautifully you explained the topic and told us about connecting the dots. It was literally good. So now I would like to hand over the charge to our Toastmasters of the day for carrying the meeting forward.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Now we are moving into our quality aspect of the meeting. And before I hand over the quality aspect of the meeting, in the quality aspect also, the mathematics is there. We are calculating the time and he's going to tell us what we have done right and what we have done wrong. And in parallel, since our voting master, our timekeeper, and our VPE is one single one-stop shop, DTM Talha bin Hamid, I would request that in interest of time, while DTM Saif Ali Sheikh is giving his general evaluation, can we see that whoever is qualified for the time, you can post the voting panel for them? Over to you, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh, our general evaluator of the day.
Thank you very much, Mr. T.M. Modi, and fellow Toastmasters. We are running behind of the time, and I'm going to make the shortest general evaluation since language evaluator is not around. So I'm taking the time from her. Toastmaster Talha, could you please share with us all the speakers are qualified in respect of the timing?
Yes, sir. Only DTM Talha exceeded time as lead evaluator. Rest, all the speakers are qualified.
That's good. It's good that at least we are not going to cast the vote for the lead evaluators. So we are working on the mathematics today. Let's coming towards the evaluation. It was behind the why we are behind the schedule, because we are not logged in on the time. Once we start logging on the time, we can start the meeting on 10 a.m. as per Pakistan Standard Time. We started at 10:04. It's mean 4 minutes is already gone in the start. By having said this one, we can manage the time. I remember initially the keynote speakers, the 15-minute keynote speech plus 5-minute question and answer. So if we can manage it with the 15 plus 5 is a 20 minutes, we can save some time. As per the agenda, it is a 30 minutes keynote speech. So whenever there is a keynote speaker is here, 15 minutes for the speech, keynote speech, and the 5 minutes for the question and answer strictly. Another point is that I think we are using this new system of evaluation, and it is no need to mention about the modular evaluations paradigm again and again and again. we now understand it, and we can save the time from here at least 2 minutes. And for the time, once we are exceeding the time, we are sacrificed on the table topic session, and that is the backbone of the Toastmaster. Everyone should have to get the chance to speak on the topics. So once we have the time, the more speaker in table topic. And the Toastmaster is one of the entity that is providing the time management. So we focus on the time. And one point as a general evaluator, I mentioned that why we have a general evaluator's position in our agenda. We have to think about it. If general evaluator is here, then the evaluation, all the evaluation should become under the general evaluation. The Toastmaster of the day call the speaker, and once the general evaluator is here, he will call is the lead evaluator, and lead evaluator follow with the subsidiary, the visual, auditory, perceptible, and structure evaluation. And if it is possible, why not we have introduced one more positions over here, evaluator for the evaluation. That will give the chance that all the evaluators, they are going to learn about it, whether they are in line of the evaluation or not. So that is my suggestion as a general evaluator. By having said this one, I handed over control back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh. Fellow Toastmasters, today we have enjoyed mathematics. See how it has been affecting our life and connected with us in a very well manner. I thank you very much to everyone around the table who have spent their time and enjoyed the day today. And with that, I hand over the charge back to President of the club, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Fellow Toastmaster, did you enjoy the meeting today?
Yes.
Unmute yourself. I request all of you, unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself. Khurram, unmute.
Yes, I have enjoyed a lot.
Yes.
Totally enjoyed it.
I want to see once again, did you enjoy the meeting today?
Yes.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And the credit goes to whom? Toastmaster Khurram Saeed Chishti in particular, but the credit goes to all of us who contributed in their capacity. And thank you very much. And by having said this one, may I request our vote counter to please make the announcement.
Yes, sir. I've just floated the poll for best big three, and it is about to be completed.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to ask Toastmaster Rosie, your comments, please.
Yeah, sure.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I found the advertisement on Facebook and I was absolutely enchanted with the idea of mathematics, because I tend that way myself, but I don't class myself as a geek or a nerd. Others might though. Actually, I'm not good enough with digital stuff to qualify in that area, but it's been very enjoyable. I was just enchanted with the keynote speaking. I thought that was just amazing. And I've been welcomed and I've been included, and I thank you very much. It's been very enjoyable. Thank you.
You are most welcome, and we are looking forward to join us time to time whenever you have a time. We meet on 2nd and the 4th Saturday of the month. 2nd and 4th Saturday of the month. Okay, Toastmaster Isaac, you are with us.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed your meeting. I thought that the speeches were excellent. I didn't get a chance to hear Kala's complete presentation, but I loved your meeting. I thought everybody was very energetic and definitely want to come back again. Thank you so much for having me.
That's great. Toastmaster Azik, it is recorded one, and we can share with you the recorded link so you can see the mathematics, the complex math behind a game-changing class. So you can watch again on the video. Toastmaster Cynthia, how you feel after the evaluations? Is it
Oh, I
going?
love them.
Mhm. Okay. You just
Good
only love?
feedback.
You just only the love?
Well, I thought they were very informative.
Mhm.
And I never thought about looking at my background to see that it's the same color as what I'm wearing. So somebody
Mhm.
in the chat mentioned that. And so, yeah, I'll have to look at that. Probably for the background, I'm going to have to go somewhere else. But was there a problem with my video? Because Isaac said that he had a hard time understanding my video. Maybe I'll have to wait.
Actually,
That's your bandwidth. Your bandwidth was the issue.
yeah.
And yeah, that's a problem. So I think I'm gonna have to go to a neighbor's house when I have my contest.
So you can come to my house.
You're just a short distance away, 12 hours away.
Yes, it's a walking distance. You can come to my house. Since Toastmasters Zaira came back, and Toastmasters Zaira, you have
Yeah.
1 minute to wrap up with your assignment. Toastmasters Zaira.
Yes, thank you very much, DTM Seth. So they were very good usage of grammar, I would say. When I was in the meeting, I could not able to observe the word of the day being used. But so the good usage of grammar, grief is a process, not a life sentence. Sentimental, emotional, romantic, dramatic story, heartbreaking, shocking. A love story we all know would end in a tragedy. Commanded our attention, painted the fairy tale, absorbed in the magic, vulnerable, low lighting matched the content of your speech. One of the speakers said there is 2 feedbacks in chat box. So there are, so the plural. One of the, yes, at what time he passed away. So one of the evaluator talked about the year. So it could have been said in which year he passed away. I would, yeah, there were a few, but many of the speakers, said like they were amazing, and I have written few. Yes, as some of the evaluation says, so it would have said as some of the evaluators have said. Yeah. So all from my side. Thank you very much, and sorry for the delay. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Zara. I used once the word of the day entity. Make
Yes,
a note.
wonderful, sir. Thank you.
Just make a note of that one. And
All right.
may I request our vote counter to please make the announcement, please?
Yes, sir, sure. So best speaker goes to DTM Cynthia. Congratulations. Best table topic goes to Toastmaster Rosie. Congratulations. And best evaluator is decided as myself by default because I have qualified and DTMs aren't in. Sorry, Sad. Best Big Three today goes to our table topics master, Toastmaster Osama Ali. Congratulations. And best round robin evaluator by single vote once again goes to me. So that's pretty much it. And over to you, Mr.
Thank you very much. Vote counter, you are with us. Oh, you are with us. So we are on time now to conclude our meeting. But before we are going to adjourn, if anyone would like to add any values to the meeting. Okay. So, fellow Toastmaster, it was once again is a Quantum Leap Day. And whenever we have the meeting, a Quantum Leap meeting, we are learning a lot from around the globe. So by this, Exactly after a couple of seconds, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Before that, you have still opportunity. If you want to say few words, you can take the opportunity. Toastmaster Rosie, how you come across to join our Quantum Leap?
I saw an advertisement on Facebook for this particular keynote speaking, and I thought I've got to register, and I'm so pleased I did. I can't come every Saturday afternoon. It's Saturday afternoon for me, but I certainly can come every now and then, and I'd appreciate that. So thank you very much for the offer to come back. But it was a Facebook advertisement.
That's great. What about the mathematics? Your mathematics is better now?
I don't know about that. But
Okay.
I appreciate the mathematics, and I was actually quite stunned about how few speeches the average member gets every year. And as a former Pathways guide and now the Pathways champion in District 100, I'm very much aware of the fact that we really haven't across the board considered the opportunities that clubs should be making for their members. And I think the point was raised very well in the speech, and I'm really going to reflect on it a lot, because it's something that I'm looking at too, of how we're getting more speech time for our members, more projects done, because that seems to be what they want these days. It's that observation was quite in line with my observation as well, that people these days aren't so much concerned with the quality or the perfectionism. It's more the quantity and getting the awards, getting the titles. And that's just the way it is. It's not good or bad. It's just as it is. And we need to be running with that.
That's good. That's good. And fellow Toastmaster, it's a time to adjourn the meeting officially. And after that, we can talk unofficials.